Yeah, we can see.
Thank you. Let's start. It's 9:30 exactly. So, a very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the day two of our faculty development program on design thinking. We have with us two very bright faces, Mr. Ramnath Prabhu, Dr. Ram Krishna Ramani ji, and we are also being joined by 47 of our participants. Hope the numbers will grow once we move ahead into the session. So, friends, now we have with us a very young face, a face from industry who has moved towards teaching. This is quite good thing. We have with us Ramnath Prabhuji. He's a design thinker and coach. BTech in computer science and engineering, MBA in marketing in Mumbai. He's also a design thinking for innovation from University of Virginia. He's currently associated with Intellect Design Arena and also a faculty at the School of Design Thinking. He was previously associated with TCS and also did his internship at Imami Limited for the leading antiseptic brands. In his current stint as an assistant manager at Intellect Design Arena, a very young person, he is a part of CDOO, Chief Design Officer of this team, working on, I think, they are just creating a culture within the organization and utilizing design thinking as a medium of co-creation with leading banks and financial institutions. That's a great job, sir. He is also associated with School of Design Thinking, aiming on taking design thinking as a culture across various walks of life. That is what Professor Korva was trying to say. This buzzword should go after 20 years. Nobody should talk about it. Because it should become our daily life. That is what the mission is. Ramnath visualizes himself as a growth manager, responsible for fostering school design thinking collaboration with leading corporates, esteemed academic and social institutions across India. In his overall association with design thinking over the last couple of years, he has discovered a new dimension of himself as a trainer, where he has anchored several workshops, induction sessions, and guest sessions for wide, diverse demography of audience, the way we are having now. And I
Correct.
think if you are particularly expertise in learning designer, so fantastic to have you, sir. A very young face from industry. Now, being a faculty, we always very eager to hear from that side. I think now I formally hand over this virtual dice to you, sir. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thanks, Dr. Gopal. You mentioned a couple of times young, but working from home and all with this white hair, I guess that white hair doesn't go with what you call to me young. So seems you have been aging quite quickly. So anyway, thanks, Dr. Manoj. Good morning, friends. Good to see you back. I have with me my colleagues, Dr. Ram, Satya. Before I formally share the screen and begin today's plan, normally it's a custom, it's a ritual we all follow to kind of have word with you all about your reflections. What clicked you yesterday, or what was the first thing that you came across yesterday? Wow, this is a new thing I learned. Or any blind spot you occurred, wow, that I was thinking like this, but oh, after yesterday's discussion, after yesterday's session, that might not be the case. What kind of clicked you? Can anyone volunteer and share?
Yesterday, sir, yesterday we
Morning.
got a clear idea. Traditional thinking is design thinking. Design thinking is totally different from this.
Sure, Manikandan sir. Yes. Yes, Anjali ma'am.
Yes, sir. Yesterday we learned about design thinking, which is totally differ from this.
Correct. Heard you, Manikandan sir. Yes, I heard you.
Good morning, sir. Myself, Dr. Sarita Kansul.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, yesterday talk
Yes,
I
but
should
up till now I
appreciate
was
the
under
very
impression.
little thinking, like the examples quoted by sir about the design in South Indian food, the design in Sikhism, and that bad design, good design. That was really very fascinating. Like how we should think in the coming days, what approach we should follow, and if we will think in the negative direction, then how it will impact. If we will go for the positive direction, then how the scenario will change. And these various, and in the second session we have this here about the 13 musical notes. That was really very inspiring, like each and every point that was really very motivated for us how important it is in the design thinking. So it's like I should say the whole session was very informative, very knowledgeable, and the new dimension, the way we should think and we should work in our new culture, we should work. Thank you so much.
Sorry, folks, I had a call to attend. Yeah. Thanks, Dr. Sarita ma'am. Anjali ma'am, you were about to say something.
Yeah. Actually, up till now, I was under impression like design is applicable only where you are going to design some product or some services. But from like yesterday's discussion made me understand that it's like day-to-day activity in our life. Everywhere we can apply this design thinking process.
True.
I think Ramnaji, I just want to come in here. That is what the very first goal of this FDP. We have to break.
Yeah.
It is a myth. So
Yeah.
I think now onwards, you as a torch bearer of this, you will also go into an institution and share this thing. It is not
Yes, sir,
something
sure.
totally. Thank you,
True.
ma'am,
Because
to
prior to
take out this point from this.
prior to this, I have attended many sessions, but this thought, the change in my thought process came after yesterday's discussion.
True, ma'am. Like Dr. Manoj said, we are here to break the myth. The design isn't rocket science, it's a daily walk of life. We see many examples of great design amongst ourselves, which we use on a daily basis. It's just a matter of seeing it and appreciating it. Thanks, Anjali ma'am.
Thank you.
We'll hear a couple of feedbacks. Anyone else?
You please feel free to unmute yourself. I think old friends are here. If you wish, I can call them.
Yeah, sir, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, so please go ahead, sir.
Yep.
Actually, I like the phrase that was put forward yesterday, that the design thinking will be only successful when we will forget it in the coming years. So this was really a good point for anything to know for successful implementation. So it should be like obsolete in the back end. That has been adopted as a culture. So we need not to talk about it again and again. That was the good message which I got from yesterday's talk.
Correct. That's what Professor Korvar said. If everyone will start to speak about it, and after years or after decades, then the purpose is lost. The day it becomes zero, the day we all delete it, means there is a successful application for it.
True. And I think our participant who has just said he is a very old friend of mine, and he's from the institute who has flown over his whole faculty to your campus and just trained them. He's from NC Gurugram, so you know that institution. So
Yes.
many institution has taken a call. They are the fund bearer of that. So I think we are in the right direction. And with this pool of more than 100 people with us, now this message will get propagated in a wider audience and all. I think in coming days, we are going to prove Professor Korva right that now there is no need to talk about it. It has become a culture.
Correct.
Fantastic. Shall we have some more feedbacks here? Anybody who wants to come in? And what we said, you should not have
Sir,
doubt
good
of
morning, sir.
asking a
This is
question.
Alok Mishra, sir.
Yes,
Yes, Alok sir. Good morning.
Am I
Yes.
audible?
Very much.
yes,
Yes.
sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead, Alok ji.
Good
Please
morning,
go
sir.
ahead.
In fact, when I joined this program, yes, sir. When I joined this program, I was more thinking of that this is more pertain to the engineering background students only. But the course curriculum and the knowledge provided clearly indicated that it is also related to arts, commerce, and other various fields, allied sciences also. So if I say in single word, this course curriculum has got the person in a vessel. If I am not wrong.
Thanks, Dr. Alok. You kind of summed it up that design is for everything. Design is for everyone.
Yes.
It's not particularly limited to any particular stream. Yes, sir. And more than that, what my colleague Dr. Ram said, it's also about mindset.
Sir, myself Mahadev Kate.
Yes, Mahadev, sir. Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
Yes,
Sir,
sir. Yes.
actually, what I got from yesterday's session was the listening is more important than the response. Sir. Actually, before we have the concept in the main sub table, or when we are discussing with some persons, we more important is to listen peacefully. What actually we are doing is that we are discussing the thing when it got into conflicts. Everybody is eager to respond each and everyone. That is the somewhat it creates more hurdle rather than the resolving. So that is the more important is the listening. What I got from yesterday's session, sir.
Correct, Mahadev, sir. Brilliant point. Listening is the first step before we jump in and react. And right from today, right from my session, we will kind of introduce to you different design thinking tools, which you will apply in different phases of problem solving. So there are a couple of design tools that will be covered by me and by colleagues to kind of address the conflict. But before that, first we should be in a mindset to kind of open up the conflict, at least give an opportunity for people to express the conflict. Brilliant point, Madhav sir. So,
hello, sir.
Yes, Rajsekhar sir. Good morning.
Yeah, sir. Very good morning to all, sir. And I have a few queries as per this design thinking concept concerned. Sir, actually, are you considering the design patterns into the picture to give the elaborated information to the participants, sir?
Design pattern meaning?
Sir, generally, as per the software industry concerned, design patterns, it plays a vital role, sir. Generally, the design thinking concept is applicable to all the fields, but whereas the design patterns is specifically applicable to the software industry. So, are you considering the design patterns into the picture as per this particular schedule concerned, sir?
No, sir. We'll be speaking design thinking at a very, we'll be going into design thinking, but we will be speaking regardless of a particular sector, or regardless of particular stream. So, design
Okay, sir.
pattern per se
Yeah,
won't be.
okay, sir. Okay. And one more thing, sir. Just I would like to appreciate the entire team because even though except a few technical issues that we have faced yesterday, but finally the end product or the end result, what I mean to say is we have received a few PDF files from the experts and we have received a few links from the experts which are very useful. Apart from our regular duties, when we go home and when we go through those sessions, I found it is really useful and it is a new concept for us. The basic thing is I have around 13 years of experience in software industry. Right now I am working as a faculty in an engineering college, but still with that experience, I found these PDFs are very new for us. So really I would like to give my appreciation to all the team and thank you all, sir.
Thanks. And thanks also Dr. Manoj as well for facilitating this, though we all faced hiccups, but Dr. Manoj and this team, I'm sure working there, have kind of addressed those quickly, and yeah, things got smooth.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You.
Thank you for this feedback.
Correct. And Mr. Kamlesh has also asked, okay, brainstorming and mind map. Yes. Yes, Mr. Kamlesh, my colleague also Satya responded. We will cover these tools in upcoming days.
We are not streaming on YouTube, but putting the video on YouTube by the end of the day.
Correct. So what I'll do is I'll start sharing my screen. So we'll begin today's proceedings. Let me know once you see. You're able to see? Correct.
Process document.
Correct. So day 2, session 1, we'll kind of see about thinking the design for innovation. And if you see, this is our approach. For us, design thinking equal to design the thinking and thinking the design. My colleague Dr. Ram spoke in detail about design the thinking. Thinking innovation is not only a science or a particular process. There, it's not only a science or a particular process. A lot of elements involved are also related to mind elements. The 13 musical notes. How can conflicts lead to creativity? Or how can seeing things at a perspective level will help facilitate idea? How do you need to bring everyone in align to generate a new innovative ecosystem? So a lot of things are also about mindset, is where kind of design the thinking yesterday post lunch. But that's also half job done. Half getting a good start is definitely is a must for innovation. Design the thinking is definitely a great start, but there is also a science related to design thinking, and this science is executed with the help of different design thinking tools and a 5-step design thinking process. I'm sure you might have also did a research before this joining a workshop. Many other firms, they also have their own 5-step process. We saw an algorithm about from IDEO yesterday. They also have their own 5-step process. We at School of Design Thinking also have our own 5-step process. So design the thinking is mindset affair, but thinking the design consists of the actual application of design thinking, which is facilitated with the help of design tools, which kind of we will start covering from today, as well as the design process, which also we will cover in detail today. So design the thinking plus thinking the design totally is the design thinking approach which we follow. But before we kind of jump into this, there are 3 laws of design thinking. Just like we have 3 laws of motions or Joule's laws related to heat and thermodynamics. We at School of Design Thinking also follow these 3 laws of design thinking. One of the laws is less is more. And in less is more, it is very important to focus on what customer matters. What matters to customer the most? What matters to your users the most? Who is your audience and what matters to them? A lot of time we have many things to offer to our users, to our target audience, to our customers. But something will matter to them, which will be kind of very, very limited of magnitude, or something they might expect something from you, but you are offering many things. So in less is more, it is very important to focus on what matters to your user, not what you have to offer. There is a difference, right? You have 10 things to offer, but your user might be interested in only 1 or 2 things. So in less is more, it is very important to arrive and understand what matters most to your users. Take an example of IT, Apple. It used to happen, right? People wanted to hear Michael Jackson album, or people wanted to hear Elvis Presley album, but they had to buy the entire DVD, or they had to buy the entire album. An album consists of multiple songs, but they might be interested only in 1 or 2 songs. But why should a user pay for the entire album, even though he is or she is not interested in all the songs? They are only interested in 1 or 2 songs. That's where Steve Jobs and his team thought, pay only for what you like. Don't offer more, offer only less, offer only what matters most to the user. and then the concept of iTunes came. Another example, we all you know, we are also part of another fintech company called Intellect Design Arena. We are also associated with that. And we also tell our developers that we create products for banks, we create products for bankers and people who work at financial institutions. We tell a developer, just imagine you are going to prepare a report for a cashier, or you are going to prepare a report for a branch manager. Just imagine at 5 o'clock in the day, he or she is tired after the whole day banking exercise. He wants to see a report. Would he be interested, or would he or she be in a mental state of mind to see a report of the entire banking transaction, seeing 25-30 columns? No, right? This is where we have to find what is most important at that particular mind to the user, and only provide those things to the report. So what we tell our developers, at 5 o'clock in the evening, a bank employee would be tired. Just imagine his condition. Don't give him a report of entire 25-30 columns. Instead, ask him, work with him, find out what is the most important 5 or 6 column that he or she will be interested. Only give him in the report. In case he or she wants to see, just give him an additional link. Click for a detailed report. So I hope you got the essence. Less is more is, the first law is finding what the users want and not offering everything you can offer. The second law, last 2% is 200%. Most of the time it happens, right? You are offering something. Your competitor will also offer the same thing. 99% of the things that you have to offer will also be offered by the competitors, will also be offered by the other service providers. But there is an opportunity to identify that differentiator. The differentiator can be even very, very small, 2% of what you will have to offer. But that 2% has the capability to create a differentiation of 200%. That 2% has the capability to create a great experience of 200%. For example, yesterday we spoke about questioning the assumptions, where my colleague spoke about questioning the assumptions. Why should a particular thing be done in the same fashion for years and years? Similarly, take any hotel. Why should the check-in be done mandatorily at the reception? Why can't be the check-in done at the room? Just imagine for a few weeks, just imagine that you went from place A to place B, you carried the luggage, the travel was hard, you have traveled for 8 or 10 hours, and then you are standing there at the reception. Many other customers are also waiting, and the check-in process takes long. You have to write a form, show your photo ID, give more details, they'll ask more questions, check-in, check-out date, half an hour, 45 minutes gone there. Just imagine if some hotel had to tell you, no problem, sir, no problem, ma'am. We understand, we appreciate you have had a long journey. We'll cover the check-in process once you enter the room. Meanwhile, go to the room. One of our attendants will guide you. We'll come there and do the check-in in your room. Or do give us a call when you're comfortable. Now, the check-in process is just a small formality. It's just 1% or 2% of what the entire hotel, 5-star hotel or a 4-star hotel does. But the 200% gives a experience of 200%. So it's about questioning the assumptions. So this is just a rough example about the check-in process. But this is a real-time example which I'm going to speak now about the Starbucks. A particular attendant at Starbucks in UK, he found out that a visually challenged lady, a very elderly lady in UK, she is one of the regular customer at Starbucks. But she used to come, she used to hear from one of the attendants what are all the different sandwiches that they're going to offer, what are the different types of coffee or the other drinks that they're going to offer. She used to hear, she used to think, and then she used to give an order. Now, for a visually challenged lady, that too for an elderly citizen, this is troublesome. So what did a particular employee do? He kind of did a course. He attended a course to understand or the Braille font, which is specially designed for the visually challenged. And then he created a menu card, a small menu card of 1 page or 2 pages, so that the next time the elderly lady comes, quickly he can give that Braille menu card to that lady, and it becomes easy for him as well as easy for her. A brave card, a menu card is just a small item of what the entire Starbucks has to offer, but that goes to create a big experience. Now just imagine how positive feedback the elderly lady would have given in the neighborhood, would have given in her community, or would have given to all of the others she knew. That goes on to give a great experience and a positive word of mouth. So in last 2% equal to 200%, you have to find out that unstated need. You have to find out that differentiator. You have to find out something unique which you can offer that might be even small, only 2%, but that goes to create a great experience. So less is more. The last 2% is 200%. And the third is theory of prioritization between 10 gram, 100 gram, and 1000 gram. What normally happens, friends, while solving problems? We encounter, or in a problem solving exercise, we see multiple problems. Typically, we don't solve all the problems together. At this juncture, it is very important to find out that 1000 gram problem, that particular problem which is 10 times bigger, 10 times more intense, 10 times grave than the 100 gram problem, and 100 times more than the 1000 gram problem. So theory of prioritization helps to prioritize which is that 1000 gram problem which has to be focused now. And once we find out that 1000 gram problem, we apply different design thinking tools to solve, we apply the 5-step process to solve, and in one particular phase, we will end up discussing or identifying many solutions. Now for a particular problem, ideally there will be only one solution. So which is that 1000 gram solution which is 10 grams better, efficient, workable than the 100 gram, and which is 100 times better than the 10 gram. So theory of prioritization will help to prioritize that solution. So theory of prioritization is prioritizing or finding the 1000 gram problem as well as finding the 1000 gram solution. So I won't give an example for this right now, because in the next 3 days, you will be kind of working in different sessions, different activities as well as homework, where we have ensured you will actually apply this theory of prioritization. So before we actually begin into the actual tools and the 5-step process, we thought we should also understand these 3 laws of design thinking. Less is more, last 200% equal to 200%, and theory of prioritization. A sort of quick recap about what we discussed yesterday. That's the approach 1 from Stanford University, from the IDEO, which is a spin-off from Stanford University. Great customer experience will come if you find out who is your user, what desires him or her to use your product, what will inspire them to use your product. This is where less is more becomes very, very critical. What is the most appealing thing to your customer? What is the most desired thing to your customer? Customer going to pay? Of course he'll pay, because if you find what will matter to your user, definitely they're going to pay. So human desirability is one, business viability is one, when the customers are ready to pay, and of course you should be in a position to offer. So what they need, what you have to offer, and are the users going to pay? Only if there is a combination of all 3, you can give a good and a great customer experience. And mind you, if you find out that unstated need, if you find out that less is more, if you find that last 2% that's going to make a great difference, the yellow part, that is the business viability, I'm sure customers will pay. We have many great examples where even the myth, okay, this might not work in the market. For example, iTunes, that myth got shattered. We are in touch with leading organic fruit, organic product supplier called Gratitude Farms. Slowly they are expanding their businesses. They also had a myth that organic farming might not work in India, or organic farming might not work predominantly in South India. But they found out less is more. They worked on that less is more. They found out the proper desirability of the organic farms of the organic produce. Then they created a great ecosystem of logistics and supply. Things work. They developed an ecosystem. We'll also cover that example later on today. So they worked on the blue part, the technology, and yes, customers were ready to pay. This, the second approach from Roger Martin, the design of business. Mystery to heuristics, and finally to algorithm. Mystery, when we actually begin to work on something, we are confused. But then we work, we discuss, we work with stakeholders, we discuss with stakeholders, we see, we listen, dialogue, observe with our users, we will find heuristics. Heuristics are things might not work, might work. But to ensure something becomes an algorithm, something becomes a scalable, something grows exponentially, we need to create an algorithm, and algorithm is also very important to give a uniform same experience. Like how my colleague Mr. Ramakrishnan spoke about McDonald's and also about Arvind Aikar yesterday. They have identified that algorithm, and that makes easy for them to scale the operations. So heuristics is very, very important, where you find out those things that will definitely work, that will give a predictable outcome, and that can go into the algorithm. And we also covered yesterday the third approach, that is core of design thinking's approach, where understanding stated and unstated requirements becomes very, very key. Observing patterns and anti-patterns is also very important. Connecting the dots within the box and outside the box, where within the box you seek inspiration from a particular organization or from a particular company who is similar to you. Outside the box, we kind of take inspiration beyond our own self. It can even be in nature. And very important to unearth the blind spots, where we work on things which we don't even know that we don't know. Before we proceed, I'll give an example of Gillette, which we were not able to cover yesterday because of timing constraints. But today, I guess we have an ample time as well as this opportunity. Gillette blade. They launched a product somewhere in around 1995 or 1994. Launched a particular type of blade in India, but that failed miserably. And why did it fail miserably? Because they had their own blind spots. They didn't even knew that they didn't know. And they failed to observe some patterns and some anti-patterns. So why did they fail? Why did that particular blade, or that particular blade only, launched in India, got failed miserably? Because they observed, but the wrong set of people. So Gillette wanted to launch the particular blade in India, but they observed few Indians there abroad. Now in abroad, there is a plenty of light available. There's plenty of water supply also available. Plus the bathroom is also very much spacious. Washrooms are also very much spacious. Plus the people working there, they also had a good amount of time while shaving. So with those observations, they kind of prepared a good design of blade. They launched in India, but that failed miserably because the realities in India were totally different. So the Gillette team sent several teams across different parts of India to actually go and check how men use blades. And they launched a particular product pan-India. So they not only went to the urban cities, they also went to rural, semi-rural, taluka places, gram panchayats and tehsil. So they sent their small teams to different locations across different parts of India to actually see how Indians played. Then they found out shaving, especially in the rural areas, started very, very early in the morning, some 5:30 kind of thing. Because the breadwinner, the earner of the family, they have to catch the train, they have to catch the bus to reach the place of taluka, to reach the headquarters or the district headquarters. Or they might also have a job to do, not only apart from business, they also have a job to do where they have to ensure they reach on time. So shaving starts very early, around 5:30. Once the of the family wakes up. Now, is electricity available? And we are speaking 20-25 years back. Was electricity available then across all the household locations? Probably no. So shaving at the very early used to start in candlelight, or some people had a torch. So lack of electricity was a problem. The dim light was the problem. As early as 5:30 or 6 o'clock, was water a problem? Probably to a good amount of households. Even lack of water was a problem. If you all can recollect, shaving, many parts in India still, the water, where the tap is not available, shaving, a small katora or small utensil, people do keep in water where they dip the brush, where they dip the blade, rinse it, and they apply. So lack of water was a problem. Lack of electricity was a problem. So these were the blind spots which Gillette faced. These are things which we didn't even know that they didn't know. So if we were to draw that and see here, what were the stated and the unstated needs? Stated needs were very much obvious. Stated needs were everyone wants a clean shave. But what was the unstated need? Which they didn't find, but they found out only when they saw the users. The unstated needs was they needed to clean the blade frequently, because they're not able to see how much of hair got accumulated while shaving. They also didn't have the water, tap water precisely to clean the blade. So that was the unstated need, to clean the blade frequently. Stated need definitely was everyone wants a clean shave. So they found out these patterns like we spoke about. Patterns are patterns are shaving starts early in the morning. Shaving starts as early as 5:30 or 6 o'clock in the morning, because the breadwinner has to go. So that was a pattern. But what was the anti-pattern? Lack of electricity, lack of water, a dim light. These were the anti-patterns that they found out. So what did they do was they kind of changed the design of the blade. Where if you can't remember the old design of the blade, where if the person doing the shaving, if he feels a lot of hair is accumulated, he can pause for a moment, take that blade, open it from this side and open it from that side, clean it, or just pick the blade, clean it, again do it. So these blind spot helped Gillette to kind of change the design of the blade, and then they launched it, and then since then Gillette is still a leader in the Indian market segment. Now after that they launched different kinds of blade. They changed the design of the blade. They came up with different specifications of the blade, but that particular blade, removing the blade, or that particular design of the blade, removing the blade, especially during the time of shaving, that helped Gillette to kind of establish their leadership into the Indian market. So the key here is observing unstated needs. The unstated needs are nothing but those last 2% which we spoke about. And very important to find patterns and anti-patterns. What's the trigger for innovation? Nothing but listening, dialogue, and observation. That's the key. All the examples that we saw came out only because the team listened, the team had a dialogue, the team observed. Innovation is nothing but a simple, it's not a rocket, it's plain and simple listening, dialogue, and observation. I won't cover details on this because a specific part for listening, dialogue, observation, and how those insights you can get, how you can classify those insights, my colleague Dr. Ram will be covering in the next session. So I won't go into details of this now, but listening, dialogue, and observation is the only trigger for anything that you do innovatively, because it will help you identify the unstated needs, help you identify those blind spots, help to observe patterns and anti-patterns. What we'll do is kind of see few another additional industry examples that came out because someone found out an unstated need. Someone found out those insights. For example, this sanitizers. Today, sanitizers are playing a great role in fighting the pandemic, but it came out because someone observed the people on the way, when they travel from a particular location to a particular location en route, they want to take a leak, they want to go for a washroom, so they just do it. Especially the men, they do no pun. But what's there? What's there to clean their hands, wipe their hands? Many people naturally, with those hands, they rub it on their trousers, or they take out the handkerchief or the napkin that they use while traveling, they rub it. Most of the times, again, they pour the water, but again, it's a drinking water waste of drinking water, especially when you're driving on a longer duration. So they observed, if that be the case, why can't we give hand sanitizers? Also, people on the way travel, they also eat or munch on a chocolate, or they eat or munch on biscuit or a cookie or chips. Again, the same thing. They'll take the handkerchief, wipe it, or rub it on the trousers, rub it on the shirt. That's it, they continue with the journey. Or again, they take water, pour it. Hand sanitizer company observed this and they found out there is an opportunity here. Nobody went to the hand sanitizer company and told, we want a hand sanitizer. It's from their observation that they came out. They thought, okay, this is a good product where you don't even need a water. If you feel you need to cleanse your hand, take a few drops, clean it. That's it. Even today it happens, right? People when they watch TV serials or people when they watch cricket match, they have consumed something, they have eaten something, they are afraid. I'm watching something. I might go to a washroom, I might go to the basin to wash my hands, and T20 within a span of couple of balls, the scene gets changed. I might miss something. Again, it's water. I have to go. I have to. If some washroom is occupied, I'll have to wait. Or if I go, I wash my hands, rub it, take a cloth, wipe it, and again, I might miss something. I might miss the daily soap, interesting part of the daily soap, or I might miss some over. Hand sanitizers comes very, very handy in such situations. When you have eaten a light snack and when you don't feel the need to go to the washroom or the basin to clean your hands. So, hand sanitizers is an example of someone observed an unsafe technique here. Chick shampoo. Chick shampoo can be credited for. I can hear someone's background noise. Thanks. So, chick shampoo. Chick shampoo is credited for introducing shampoo in India, and we also have the fortune of doing a dedicated workshop for Kevin Care. Kevin Care is the business house, the FMC organization who owns the Chick shampoo. We closely work with Mr. C.K. Ranganathan, the chairman and managing director of Kevin Care, and his leadership to bring a design thinking culture. And we are also fortunate that the head of L&D, Mr. Jashwant Sharnati, he is also going to address you all on a particular industry and academic related topic day after tomorrow. So we are also fortunate to have him. So that's about Kevin Care. But coming back again to the story of Chick shampoo, it was again nothing but an observation from the team at Kevin Care. And I'm speaking of this story a couple of decades back, where shampoo was very, very new in India. Only a rich or an elite set of customers in India used shampoo and had an access to shampoo. The middle class, they were using shikakai, they were using other home ingredients of shampoo made from home ingredients, and but again that the number was so many people still used to rub and cleanse their hair with regular soaps. Shampoo was only limited, or shampoo only the elite, the top section of the economy had access to shampoo. But the middle class aspired it, nevertheless. Middle class fascinated that shampoo. But were they ready to pay that amount? Probably no. But were they willing to try? Definitely yes. Were they hesitant? Okay, if shampoo is not for me, what will happen to my hair? Was the hesitation there? this hesitation, will people be ready to buy entire bottle? No. This is where Mr. R. Chini Krishnan, the founder of Kevin Care, made a very, very profound statement. I'm quoting Mr. Chini Krishnan from Kevin Care website, where he says, what the rich man can enjoy, common man should be able to offer. Chini Krishnan said. Accordingly, they launched 1 rupee sachet. The sachet that you can see on the screen. I mean, today it's about 1.5 or 2 rupee. Earlier, I mean, speaking of 20-25 years back, it might cost around 50 paise or 75 paise. So they were credited with introducing shampoo, especially for the economy class, especially for the middle class in India, who had the aspiration to use the shampoo, but probably they were not ready to pay. In marketing terms, it's called low cost penetration strategy, where you introduce a new product, a new innovative product into the market at a low cost for your customers, at a very, very low cost. Customers will like it. Then you get an establishment, you get a foothold in market, and this is where you increase your portfolio there. So it introduced with that 1 rupee sachet. Later on, people liked it, people adopted it. Of course, it had a quality. People loved it. And then they launched bigger sachets. They launched bigger bottles. So they observed that middle class had an aspiration, but they're not ready to pay. Just like people observed sanitizers. So that's an example of chick shampoo. And yeah, unfortunately, when we speak about CCD Cafe Coffee Day, we lost its founder VG Siddhartha because he committed suicide, as you all know. But it's again a great example of finding the patterns. It's again a great example of that unstated need from coffee users. No coffee user went and kind of spoke, I want a great customer experience while having a coffee. It's where VG Siddhartha and his team found out that unstated need. People wanted an experience around coffee. And when I say people, I predominantly refer pan India, not only at South India, because coffee was relatively new to the entire North, West, and East India. Coffee predominantly was an important element of South India. So VG Siddhartha and his team questioned the assumptions that people want a great experience around coffee. People see coffee, I mean, especially the non-South Indians see coffee as a new drink, as a refreshing drink. So why should coffee be served only at restaurants? Why should coffee be served only at stalls? Why should coffee be taken and swallowed within a matter of couple of minutes? Why can't we create a good experience around coffee? This is like questioning the assumptions. Why should beverages like tea and probably coffee consume there? So he found out that an entire experience can be created only by having a sip around coffee. People were ready to pay because it was an unstated need. This is where he kind of introduced Cafe Coffee Day. And if I were to ask you what's the catch line or the slogan of Cafe Coffee Day, a lot can happen over coffee. So it's about an experience. Couples, they find this as a good place to discuss and find more about their spouse or more about the partners. Many times, even job interviews, discussions, office meeting, briefings have also taken place in coffee, in CCD, over a cup of coffee. Dr. Manoj, is my screen visible? Am I audible?
Yeah, sir. You are clearly audible and we can see your screen. Please go
Okay, because I saw a couple of messages in chat.
No, I think we can see
No,
that. Maybe they are facing some internet issue. No, they are just saying thank you. They are having a very good. Feel you can take a pause and interact. We don't mind having that. If you wish,
correct.
you
I know
can
because I
take a
saw a
pause.
couple of messages.
No. Things are going fine, sir. Absolutely
Great.
fine. If you wish to interact, go ahead.
Correct.
Sir, you are quite visible and audible too.
Good to know. Yeah. So yeah, in CCD, it was all about creating a great experience around coffee. So it was an outcome of questioning the assumptions, as we see. Now, as I spoke at the start, it's up today. We will start from thinking the design, and in thinking the design, we will try to cover different design thinking tools. Also, we will see the 5-step process of design and how and where which tools can be used as a part of which process. We will definitely also cover as we move. Right from today, we'll see different tools, and the first tool that we are going to introduce is very simple. It is user needs. Also, we will see what are the different types of users. What exactly is a user need? Very simple, right? It's what a user needs. It was the user wants. I mean, when I say of user needs, when I say of user wants, it should be both stated as well as unstated needs. For example, let's assume you are owner of a pen company and you want to design a pen. So there are a few characteristics of user needs. Okay, let the slide get loaded so that I can explain one by one. What are the characteristics of a user need? And imagine that you are going to design a pen, you are owner of a pen company. A user need should be what and not how. Very important to focus on what user need you want to give or what the user they have. Only if you figure what, how will automatically come. Very important to focus on what and not the how. For example, the pen has a metal clip to fasten the shirt pocket. No, that doesn't qualify for user need. Instead, you can write the pen attaches to the clothing, because the pen attaches to the clothing is what? The how part is the pen has a metal clip to fasten the shirt pocket. So that's one way to do. Similarly, there could be another way to do, but the user need is the what part. The pen attaches to the clothing. While you write the user need, you have to be very specific. For example, pen is easy to use. Okay, but the more specific would be the pen can be operated with one hand. Positive and not negative. For example, the pen remains clean. Pen is not messy is a negative connotation. While doing the exercise of user needs, you should write the pen remains clean. While writing a user need, you should identify what attribute of a product or service will the user want. I need a reliable pen. No, don't write like that. Try to instead write pen is reliable. And while writing user needs, you should avoid must and should, because at the start we saw design thinking is about not judgment, not justification. The word must and should definitely be avoided. Instead, we can write the pen is affordable. So, what are the typical user needs a user might want to see in a pen? It attaches the clothing, as you can see, can be operated with one hand, it remains clean, pen is reliable, the pen is affordable. So, while you discuss with your users, while you discuss with your target audience, while you discuss with your customers, you better in a design thinking exercise practice is to write down all these user needs, so that once you start to work, once you start to design, you should ensure that you have covered all the user needs. Take an example of YCC. Sorry, let's take an example of Volvo. Volvo YCC is your concept car. Volvo, a premier car manufacturer, they kind of decided to launch a car, but for whom? Independent professional woman working in US. Car, as you know, or automobile sector, as you know, is still and probably a male-dominated industry. So they thought, so because again, they question the assumptions. They thought let the design phase of this car be taken care by a team made of women. Because the customer there is woman, there is no point in men designing a car for women. So they formed a team of women that was responsible for the design phase, the specifications phase of the car. Then the team interacted with women buyers. The team interacted with the target audience, different sessions and all. And what they found out was very, very insightful and exciting. Found out was women customers in the men segment, they want everything that men want in terms of performance, prestige, style, but they also need more. Additionally, they need smart storage solutions, which the men also wanted, but they didn't highlight or emphasize that much. Women also wanted the car that is easy to get in and get out. I mean, for men, with even if there's a small difficulty in getting out of the car, the men manage, but the women were very, very peculiar. They wanted to have a car that was easy to get in and get out. Good visibility. It was from the women's car. The men in US didn't want a car. Focus on that much personalization of a car, but the women did focus. Minimal maintenance and car that is easy to park. So if the car manufacturing company had to draw needs or write the user needs of men and write the user needs of women, the user needs of women were very, very, very much, very, very more compared to the user needs of men. Now just imagine, had the car been designed by men, then they have come up with only, let's assume, 25 user needs, and they have launched the car in market for the target audience who the women. But the women in reality, they had 35, 40 user needs. What about the 15, 40 user needs? They were not met, right? The car was doomed to fail. So this is where it becomes very important to identify as many user needs as you can. Write it down. And while you design something, while you work on that solution, while you develop it, you ensure you cover most of the user needs. In case someone has to ask us how many number of user needs is good, there is no right or wrong answer. But the more user needs you have, the more precise, more positive, the more focusing on the what part, the more accurate or described attribute of service, more user needs, the better it is. Again, quoting an example during the work from home, especially in the month of April, March, May, and June, till the unlock happened, most of us operated from home. If you observe, kitchen is traditionally designed by men, but since the design was men, the artisans, the mason, they designed it according to their preferences. Men and women, if you compare, more or less the men are a little bit at a good height. Men are a couple of inches taller compared to the women. That's why we see many times women, especially the person who is going to cook, women, finds difficulties in locating a couple of items. Some of them are placed up there at a shelf, which the men can easily take it out, which the men can easily, or some of the items need to bend or need to kind of stretch more to get, which the men can do because they are tall, and which the women find difficulty in doing. How did this happen? Because artisans, the masons, traditionally were men, mostly they're men. They designed it according to their convenience. They may have missed keeping in mind the users, the kitchen user needs, predominantly from the women, because women being the most prominent user of kitchen. So an example which will also relate. Now here is an interesting case study about McDonald's. They launched a product called Mac Milkshake in US, along with that flagship French fries and burger. The business did okay. This is where they thought we are missing something, and that's where they got in touch with a Harvard-based professor. And what did a Harvard-based professor do? Simple again. Listen dialogue, and observe. The McDonald team went to that Harvard professor with a simple statement. Our Mac milkshake business is doing okay. The French fries and the burger, they are doing excellent. How can we improve our Mac milkshake business? So the Harvard professor and his team went at a particular store, and then they kind of came up with a strategy. They divided their team into small teams of 1 people, 2 people, 3 people each, and then they found out several McDonald's outlet in US to observe. Simple, plain observation. And what did they do? One teammate or two teammates at each store, they were to be stationed entirely that day, and they were only to observe. Observe what? When do customers come to buy a milkshake? Who that customer is? Male, female? What does the customer look like? Does he look like a student? Does he look like a working professional? Is that customer elder? Is that customer young? What that customer is wearing? Because once someone wears a particular type of dress, one can understand whether he is going for a work, or he is in casual work, or is he going for some party, or is he going with. At what time do people buy milkshake? So plain observation. So the teammates stationed at each McDonald's outlet, they did that observation for a couple of weeks. They noted down very religiously. And then after a couple of weeks, the team again came back these findings. So what struck to them was 90% of the milkshake, 90% of the buyers brought the milkshake very early in the morning, roughly before 8 o'clock. That was one observation. And all the observations were very surprising. It was the most surprising. People bought milkshakes very early in the morning, before 8 o'clock. Okay. Most of the buyers of that milkshake were working class. Most of the buyers were working class. And how did they find out? Because they observed people who generally brought the milkshake, they were wearing the office wear. They're wearing their coats. They're wearing their tie. It was very visible. So 90% of the milkshake before 8 o'clock in the morning, almost all of them were buyers. And the third observation kind of took all of them by surprise. The third observation was almost all of them, they had their own vehicle. And in India, and also more or less in US, if you see, McDonald's outlet, they kind of serve at two locations. One, when there is a dedicated place where you can order, take it, eat and drink. And the other is just hop in, park your car, give an order, take it and quickly move on. Most of the orders of milkshake were brought from the second part. Just park a car there, park a car means just pause your car, give the order, wait there for about 1 or 2 minutes, take the milkshake, pay, and just go in. So these 4 or 5 findings, all of them were surprising, but all of them were very important. Buying early in the morning, working class, having their own vehicle. So they thought, okay, if that be the case, let's spend a couple of days or weeks to go and actually discuss with their people, because these results are surprising, but they had to find out what particularly in this milkshake is very appealing that people are buying. And people are buying, and those set of customers, they used to buy it almost daily. So what's so appealing? Let's focus on them. So kind of again went back to the stores that they were part of, and they began their interaction with buyers. Not a detailed interaction because they had to go to the work location, but they did spare a couple of moments. They spare a couple of minutes. They asked that we are here from McDonald's and we wanted actually to know that why do you buy milkshake particularly? And the results were again more. What they told was, I have stayed in a part of a city, but my office location is a couple of hours. My office location is a couple of hours away. So I need to drive. Early morning, I have a cup of tea, coffee, probably a small biscuit. And I wake up early at around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, because I have to reach to my office at 9. I'll have my breakfast at around 9, 9:30 with my colleagues, or my wife, my mother brings me the breakfast. After I wake up at 5:30 or 6, I can't have that breakfast, right? I'll carry it. So I need a small food item which I can have it as and when I travel. But that food item shouldn't be so heavy that I fill my tummy, because I'll be going to have breakfast around 9:30. So, okay. So what are the other food breakfast, or what are the other items the people can have as they go, which are healthy in ingredient, by the way, and nutrition? So banana. Can someone have banana? No, because banana though is healthy, good, contains good proteins, fibrous as well. But as and when you travel, you can't peel off the banana, right? You need two hands. Almost difficult to peel with one hand. Banana though is advantageous, but operating it on the go is difficult. The other option is to cut the bananas, take tiffin. It was an option, but again, cutting the bananas, keeping it means it is exposed to air. Bananas, if you see, the minute they get exposed to air, they get turn black, pain. So people didn't want to have it on the go. Okay, so banana was ruled out. Donuts and bagels. The right hand side, you can see above. That's also an option. But the problem with that option is it is tasty. It isn't nutritious. It isn't delicious. Plus, it's very, very dry. No one can have such a dry thing early in the morning on empty stomach. Even if I had to have it, apply some cheese or butter to it, then I need to operate two hands. So that option was also ruled out. Then comes chocolate donuts. It's not healthy. I love to have it, but people didn't prefer it because they didn't want to start the early day on a wrong note. No one can resist a chocolate donut with only one chocolate donut. They will end up having one more, they'll end up having one more, they'll end up having one more. They didn't want to start the day by having several chocolate donuts, and they will repent the entire day. Okay, I had too much of calories. No, they didn't want to start the day on a bad note. So chocolate donut was also ruled out. The next option came biscuits, the cream biscuits. Cream biscuits, though I'll have it, I'll also feel feel that I have eaten something. Fine, but is it healthy? Probably. People wanted a healthy. People wanted a good, not a definite snack, but people wanted a good food item so that they can consume it. Biscuits were also ruled out. Finally, again came chocolates. Chocolates were also ruled out because, like chocolate donuts, people just have it, people just munch it. So why did they prefer milkshake out of all this? Because milkshake is nutritious. It's composed of milk, it's composed of sugar, it's also composed of banana, and probably you can also add another fruit. And in case you are so much diet conscious, you can actually tell the person attending there, don't put sugar or keep very much limited quantity of sugar. So I can make the shake delicious compared to all the other items that we saw. Not possible. The shake fills the appetite for some time. So all the other items did also fill the appetite for some time. But shake fills an appetite also for some time. Importantly, the shake holder can be placed while on travel. Most of the cars that you see, there's a small section where you can keep your glass or you can keep the holder there. Was it possible with all the other food items discussed? Probably not. So milkshake comes with a good milkshake holder where you can keep that and travel. Importantly, the shake holder can be operated with one hand. peeling a banana or peeling a fruit, you will need 2 hands. Definitely not possible on dry iron. Applying cheese or butter on a donut, definitely not possible. But the beauty with McDonald's was can be operated with 1 hand. The shake is viscous and gravy. Another advantage of why some people prefer milkshakes, because all the other food items that we discussed, those were not viscous, those were not gravy. People not able to, or people were not comfortable having it early in the morning. The milkshake is affordable, very much affordable. It only cost a couple of dollars. So all the other food items were also affordable, but the milkshake carried other advantages like what we saw. And the last user need was the shake is easily made. I just have to come there, give an order, in a matter of couple of minutes, the shake gets ready. So these were the needs. The shake is nutritious, feels appetite for some time, easily placed on a towel, can be operated with 1 hand, it's viscous and gravy, it is affordable and easily made. So there was a limited set of people who found it very, very important. What did the team do? They observed all these things. They listed down these were the user needs which the milkshake is going to provide or milkshake is offering, and ultimately these things got reflected into advertisements. That here is a milkshake that is very, very nutritious. Here is the milkshake that's very affordable. Here is a milkshake that will help you fill your appetite. Here is a milkshake that offers these things. Accordingly, these things got involved into marketing. These things got involved into advertisements, and this is how it reached a good number of people there. And then slowly, gradually, the business got improved. So, how to arrive at the user needs? Again, like what the Harvard professors team did: listening, dialogue, and observation. Plain simple. There's no rocket science involved. Before we kind of end today's session here, there are 2 kind of users which you will have to focus on: lead users and extreme users. What normally happens is most of the companies, they focus some median category of people, or they focus an average category of people, but great insights lie on the extreme, on the right hand side and on the left hand side. Who are those people who are on the middle, and who is that category of people who is on the middle, and who is that category on the right, and who is on the category of left? The category on the extreme right is people who use your product very, very, very frequently. You can call them as the brand ambassadors. You can call them as your hardcore fans. You can call them as your die-hard fans of a product. In marketing terms or in general terms, we also call them as early adopters. Some people who adopted very, very early in the market. Why did they adopt it? Because they try working on new things. They try focusing on new things. They try adopting in new things. They try to experiment. That's one section of people. They are very, very loyal to your product. That's why they advocate. That's why they recommend. That's why they promote your product. A good amount of insights lie on the right hand side. Some people. On the left hand side, again, some people. Who are those kind of people? Those kind of people are the ones who don't use a product at all, or who use very, very rarely. Why do they use it? Because their user needs are not satisfied. And who is the middle? The middle kind of people are those who use your product at an average level, who use a product not probably as regularly or fervently, but who use a product at a mediocre level. What most of the companies do, okay, a good number of people are using a product, a good number of people are using it, fine, let's keep on doing it, But what most innovative companies do is they focus on 2 extremes. On the right hand side, where people who use the product very much, who are the early adopters, and on the left hand side, the people who don't use a product or very rarely use them. Why do they do that? And why do they not focus on the average? Because average again means retaining the status quo. Okay, people are using it, let's continue. People are using it, let's continue. This is where the chance or the opportunity to work on innovation goes. On the right hand side, if we focus on those people who use a product more, you will be able to find more user needs, or these people will tell you the user needs which you yourself have not even visualized while you have designed your product. And why does it happen? Because the more you use a product, the more early adopters, the more fans, the more loyal customers use a product, right? The more insights they get. The more insights they get, they also visualize user needs which they might not have even imagined. You yourself might not have imagined while you're designing. So very, very important to focus on these people. So like what the for McDonald's case, for the Mac milkshake case, right? Who did the team interacted? They interacted the early adopters. And this is where they found out extra user needs, that okay, people want a viscous milkshake, people want along with the milkshake the card that they can go that the card that the holder that they can place on as they go. People want a milkshake that they can sip in. People want X, people want Y. They focus on the early adopters. And why should innovative, or why should for innovation you should also focus on the extreme left? Some people, those are the people who don't use a product or very rarely use the product, because in this particular section you will find your own blind spots. Why your product is not appealing to a particular section of people. Once you engage with them, once you observe them, once you interact with them, you will find your own blind spots which you never even knew that you never knew. Example, Gillette. People in India didn't got that, buy that. This is where Gillette thought, let's interact. After that interaction only, people found out, sorry, the Gillette team found out their own blind spots. So the extreme right and the extreme left are a good source of, or a good inspiration for great insights. And being an innovative organization, being innovative for innovation, innovative companies focus on these two extremities. Else, if you just focus on the average things, status quo continues, and we kind of lose the chance for innovation. So with this, I guess we have time for about 10-15 minutes for the question. Today, kind of we focused on 3 laws of design thinking, as well as we got an opportunity to introduce a new tool, that is user needs. So as and when we progress throughout this, as and when we progress the next couple of days, we will kind of introduce you one additional tool. Also, we'll ensure we will conduct in class as well as homework activities where you will see an opportunity to apply these tools. So yeah, any questions or insights, any learnings you had, please let me know.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Ramnath. This is Dr. Yogesh.
Yes, Dr. Yogesh.
Yeah, I have got 2 points. You talked about some wonderful examples, some 5 examples you gave.
Correct.
Now, my question is that this design thinking of some of the examples, don't you think it may work in one country, but it may not work in some other country like India? For example, this Volvo example, or that last one you gave about that. One more. What was the last example you gave?
The milkshake.
Yeah, milkshake. Those type of, don't you think those type of products may not work out in country like India?
Exactly, sir. Exactly. This is why again I want to go back to the Gillette case. Gillette thought this will work in US, so that's why they thought of replicating in India. So Indian behave different, people in US behave different. Indian conditions where there was lack of light, lack of electricity were totally different compared to US, where there was plenty of light, plenty of water also available. So what will work in particular country for a particular customer may not work in another. This is where listening, dialogue, and observations become very, very critical.
Okay, and my second point is, sir, you talked about 3 laws, no?
Correct.
If you can elaborate little more on the third law, because the other two was okay.
Right. So the third law is theory of prioritization, and in theory of prioritization, okay, I'll check if I theory of prioritization. I won't give an example right now, but again, I'll explain what the concept is. Normally, during problem solving exercise, right? Once you identify a particular problem, you will come up with multiple solutions. In design thinking, there is a phase, step 3 divergence. I won't speak much about it, but in step 3 design thinking, you will find multiple ways to solve a problem. Now, are you going to implement Dr. Yogesh all the ways? No. This is where we have to filter out ideas and find out which is the 1,000-gram idea. And that 1,000-gram idea should be 10 times more bigger, more efficient than the 100-gram idea. And then it should be more efficient than the 1,000-gram idea. So out of, let's assume you have enlisted 5 ways, 5 solutions to solve a particular problem. You will rate ideas as 1,110. So if you're doing a collective exercise, you will collectively rate it. At the end, you have to find out that 1,000-gram idea. So you kind of prioritize it. This is what we are going to solve using the 1,000-gram idea. So that's the law number 3, theory of prioritization.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
And you will be working, there will be an activity, in-class activity on this in a couple of days. So we'll be applying. So you will get a more hands-on. So the theory of prioritization is to filter and prioritize. This is the problem I'm going to solve. And for this problem, our team has 10 ideas. This is the 1,000-gram idea, which we are going to work.
That's somebody else wants to come in? You can please. Anybody else?
Sir, good morning, sir. This is Alok Mishra, sir.
Yes, Alok, so good
Am
morning.
I audible?
Yes,
Very much.
Sir, in fact, yes, sir, I want to know about how this design thinking, that is, the laws of design thinking are related to product life cycle.
Correct. So, roughly less is more normally comes during the design phase, right?
Yeah.
It's about identifying what the user. I mean, I'm just giving a crude analogy here. Less is more typically might come during the design phase. You have to, in design phase, you identify, right? Or in the requirement phase, you have to identify what your user wants. That will only go into technical specification. That will also go into the concept of product. So less is more might typically come there at the initial part. Theory of prioritization come during problem solving. Okay, I launched given a product to my customer, or I am given a product to my clients, and then they send 10 issues. Now, is the team going to solve all the 10 issues? No, I have to find out the 1,000-gram issue. Then once the 1,000-gram issue is found out, the team will identify 10 different ways to solve the 1,000-gram issue. So what is the 1,000-gram way to solve it? So theory of prioritization might come during the problem solving. So this will come in different stages.
So does it mean, sir, when we have got the extreme users, meaning thereby product has reached to its last development?
No, sir. What I said, it was indicative. I'm just giving a rough example. However, you feel everyone is free to apply it at any time. For example, less is more. If you want to give a product, if I want to give a PPT to your supervisor, so if I'm going to give a PPT to my investors, and the investors have only 5 minutes, I can show them 10 slides. But what will an investor like to see into my PPT? So I'll only focus on 2 or 3 slides. The other slides I won't focus. So what I intuitively applied is less is more. So since you asked typical product life cycle, I gave this as an example or the example situations, but these laws can be applied anywhere.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Even in general walks of life, you can apply.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, so good morning, sir. This is Dr. Balraju.
Yes,
Hyderabad.
Yes, sir.
Sir, can you give a few more clarification regarding the second example, sir? Second stage, second one.
Second law, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So in last 2% is 200%. What normally happens, sir, is you are going to offer something, and your competitor, your rival, or other service provider, they also offer the same thing. Mostly it will be the same. 98% of what you offer, some or the other one is also going to offer. This is where there is an opportunity to create a differentiation for ourselves. Now, the differentiation can be even small, but that small differentiation is enough to create a 200% or big impact. So I gave an example of a typical hotel. Let's assume I have a hotel, you have a hotel, Dr. Manoj have a hotel, we all own hotels. More or less all 4-star hotels or 5-star hotels, let's assume we all have 4-star hotels. All the 4-star hotels will almost provide the same set of functionalities, same set of offerings or same amenities to all. But let's assume your hotel decides to change something, that instead of people coming during the check-in, people have tired, people have taken 8-hour or 10-hour journey, they have tired. You decide, okay, why should the check-in happen then and there when people come? I trust my customers there. Let them go up, let them settle. After half an hour, they'll give a call, or I'll go to the room. So this is the differentiation for you, sir. My hotel and Dr. Manoj's hotel will follow the same set of check-in practices. You will follow a different way. So check-in actually is nothing but a small part or small process, 1% or 2% of what the entire hospital provides. Check-in is a very, very small process, but that small process is going to create a big impact. Just imagine I am a customer or hotel or your 4-star hotel. I had a very, very bad journey, 8-hour or 10-hour journey, or I had to take 2-3 flights. I have 4-5 luggages. With all the luggages and all, I have to stand there at the reception. 4-5 customers are there in front of me, and then I'll have to. I'm sweat. It's summer season. I'm sweating here, and in that I have to write a form, show my Aadhaar, show my government ID, write a form, give more details. I have no option, but I'll do. But just imagine if your hotel gives me the opportunity to go and do a check-in later on, I'll get excited. So last 2% equal to 200% is finding that something differentiation that can be small, but that can create a big impact, because what you are going to offer is offered by similar other companies. So last 2% helps to focus on that differentiation. Now, how will you arrive at those 2%? Again, listening, dialogue, observe your users, have a dialogue with them. What are their user needs? So that will help you to arrive at them.
So good morning, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah, sir, it's a very good presentation, sir. Can you please correlate me this particular last 2% for a teaching aspect? Because you are saying, as I understand, that means the last 2% we need to give 200% to the student. Am I right? If I think in terms of teaching.
No, ma'am. It's not like that. It means you can find out that 2% change you do compared to all other faculty members, that will bring an impact of 200%.
That's what, sir.
You have to do only 2%. The impact will be 200%, provided you identify that 2% carefully. That should be the way.
Correct, ma'am. So, for example, coming to the academic, ma'am, you are a part of a college.
Yeah.
Similarly, there are hundreds of colleges.
Okay.
Student is your customer, student is your audience, right? So what you do innovatively within a college, that innovative thing that can be even small 2%, it can be a small part of process, or it can be a small change, something that you do, which no other colleges can do. That's going to create a good student experience as well as a good parent experience. Because what you as a college or what you as a faculty will be doing, hundreds and faculties, hundreds of other colleges will be doing. But is there a small aspect, is there a small way where you can do something creatively that is going to create a 200% impact. That can be like Dr. Manoj said, very, very small thing, which only
Yes.
faculty or college can do, but which no other colleges might or no other faculty might have thought of. So that's what.
Right.
How will you arrive at? Observe students, listen students, have a dialogue with them, observe parents. It comes from that listening, dialogue, observation only.
Ma'am,
Yes.
actually, Ramnath is talking about
Shall
from
I
an
share
institute point.
something?
Just ma'am,
Yeah.
hold on. Just I want to add here, ma'am.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
Ramnath was talking about from an institute point of view, but ma'am Sunita put what to do in a class. So I can tell you, ma'am, what you can observe your student, you can interact with them, and I can tell you have some exercise, some activity in a class, maybe at the end, maybe in between, which is totally unique to your class only. The
Okay.
moment you do that, you will find that the impact of your class go like 200%. So
Yes.
what
Yes.
sir is saying is regarding institute point of view, your management should take those kind of initiatives. But as a
Yes.
faculty, you should always take those initiatives. It is very unique to you, very particular to you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dr.
Yeah, shall I share something?
Yes, Sunita, share.
Yeah, I just recalled when Miss Sunita talked about education. There was a college who had participated in Tata Institute of Social Sciences. There was a conference going on, and it was about emotional intelligence. And there was this college who was given an innovative award. What they had done is they had created emoji badges for their teachers, for the students, and they'd ask them, in whatever mood you are today, please select the badge and wear it for the day. And till the time you have that feeling, just wear the badge. And once you are out of that feeling, you feel that I'm now in a different mode, you may either change the badge or not wear it. And it made a huge difference in the way other people behaved with them for that particular day or for that particular duration. And that way they said it had a huge impact, and our productivity performance increased. For example, somebody was in a bad mood, they didn't want to speak much, or they didn't want somebody to pester them much or for something. They wore the badge that day, and the other people behaved accordingly. So that was an innovative concept which was awarded. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And now, thanks, ma'am. Great example. Now, if you compare the badge thing that done would be very small, but that went on to create a great impact.
Thank you.
Do we have any more queries left? I think Ramnath ji, you can go through the chat box. You will find and there. I think Dr. Ramakrishnan has answered many things there also. That was fantastic. But only thing would be that you should hold on to these laws when you're going to talk about the processes, all this 5-step process. You just again take these laws back. How we can include these law into the process of when we are empathizing, when we are doing brainstorming session, and when we are squaring down to prototyping and all. So where on all these things, when we are diverging and converging, these laws will help us to take a right call. So during that process, if we can re-bring this particular slide, then the doubt which we are having here will get clarity.
Definitely, we'll try to revise it again. Yes.
Revise that. And it is fantastic because since I have that experience, I can see these laws are applicable in all these 5 steps when we are diverging and then converging, again diverging and then converging. And since it is an iterative process, we know that is what we require. We have to keep on improving. No solution is a final solution. So with this mindset, we need these laws to be there. So it comes with experience how which law has to be applied where, just like all the laws of motion from Newton's and all, these are available. It's up to us to apply as per our requirement. So on this note, if you have any other observation or comment, we'll hold on or we will close it. We'll take a small bio break for next 30 minutes. We are already 3 minutes overshoot the timing, but shall we start at 11:35? That will be fine, sir.
Ram?
11:30 should be good. I mean, we have almost half an hour.
Okay. So
I don't spill into the
I will
lunchtime
continue
because
with no issue, sir. So we will take a bio break up to 11:30, and please join on time. We will be having another interesting session lined up with I think two of you will be there. Dr. Ramakrishna Ramani along with Ramnathji will be there. That is what I've been told to go.
I will be there, but Dr. Ram will be sharing the screen. I will be
Okay.
there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much to all of you, and we'll meet again after 30 minutes. Thank you so much.